Hello and welcome back to The Goodness Margin, the place where we find margin for the good things in life. Today, I want to share with you how to survive a crazy season. We've all been there, whether you have a new baby, whether you're starting a new school, maybe you've decided to go back to college, or maybe you've started a new job, or you are in the middle of a home renovation. Whatever it is, we have all experienced these really crazy busy seasons. If you are experiencing a lot of these seasons back to back, you may want to rethink some things. My husband and I have experienced a few of these this year, and we've actually sat down after this latest season and talked about how that we can avoid having these very often. But I want to share with you some tips that have helped me, because going through several of these this year, through this latest crazy season, I realized that I had grabbed some things that allowed me to feel like I was able to survive this season so much more effectively and efficiently than I did over some of the latest ones. So just for a little bit of context, I will share with you what my latest crazy season was. My husband and I pastor a church. We planted the church a little over 6 years ago. And thankfully, we're growing. It's really exciting. We need more space. And so we're in a rented facility. We were able to rent the space right next to us. Well, it needed a total overhaul. I'm talking flooring, walls, ceilings, the whole thing. Pretty much everything needed to be replaced. And we're on a really tight budget, and so it was a lot of DIY. Through the summer, we did a lot of different projects on it, but we had a really busy summer. But we had given ourselves a deadline of an event that happened in the middle of September. So as you can imagine, the 2 weeks leading up to that event were pretty nonstop. My daughter was in kindergarten. My son is a high schooler who does an online school, still working my job. My husband's still doing the regular things that he has to do. And then on top of that, we were also working pretty much every day to finish this remodel at the church. And it caused it to just to be a really, really full and busy season. But thankfully, I had grabbed a few of these tips from, like I said, from the last season. And so I want to share those with you today. The first thing is to prioritize. You'll hear me say this a lot, and I even have another video, which I will link below, that is all about a brain dump. You think of these tasks, and maybe there are tasks that you would regularly do, but you can't get to them right now. Write those down so you don't forget those things. I like to use the reminders app in my phone, and I'll add those things to that immediately because I always have my phone with me. But I have to choose the things that are priority. What are the things that are absolutely most important for me to get done? I have to know that during this time, I am not going to get everything done. And so I have to choose what is priority. The second tip is self-care. And I'm not talking about a weekly massage, although if you're able to work that in, I'm sure that would be really, really helpful. But I'm just talking about those simple things that will help you to stay your best self. Getting enough sleep. This is a huge, huge thing for me. And it really is for all of us. We all need sleep. Some of you may say, I don't need as much sleep as other people do, but you probably really do actually need those 8 hours. And if you started getting those 8 hours of sleep, you would feel like a new human being. But during these seasons, sometimes I think, I'm just going to grab my laptop and get a few more things done at night. And I've learned that is a really bad idea. I need to go to bed at a decent time. That way I can wake up early and I can get the things done that I need to get done. But prioritize your self-care, your sleep. Another thing that I need to prioritize for my self-care during these times is to take my vitamins regularly. I feel better. I feel like a different person than when I'm not taking my vitamins. So it's really important for me to do that. And that is something that literally takes 30 seconds. Also, being sure that I'm drinking enough water. For whatever reason, when I'm running really, really busy, I find that I drink a lot more coffee, and I already drink a lot of coffee on a regular day. So on a really busy day, I'm pulling through Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts and getting an extra coffee. That's fine, but I have to be certain that I am getting enough water. So I have to prioritize those things. So choose the things that you know that you will feel your best while you're doing that, even if life is crazy, and prioritize those things for your self-care. Number 3, routines. I don't do all of my routines when life is insane. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. But I do take parts of my routines that are the most important and make sure to do them. For example, my weekly cleaning schedule. On Monday, I clean my bathrooms. Tuesdays, I vacuum and dust the upstairs. Wednesdays, I vacuum and dust and mop the downstairs. And so while I may not do those on those exact days during a really busy season, during the week, I'm going to be sure that I find pockets of time to keep my house clean, because I know that for my mental health, that is really important to walk in from a crazy day and have a clean house. I have a deep clean routine. And I will tell you, during that time of doing that big remodel at the church, I did not get any of the deep cleaning done. It's something I can catch up with later. But I know, because number one is to prioritize. I have to prioritize just keeping my house clean and tidy. And then another routine that is really important is my nightly routine, making sure that I'm ready for the next day. So I start the next day fresh. I'm going to go ahead and pack my daughter's lunch. I'm going to go ahead and set the clothing out that we're going to wear the next day. Go ahead and pack our bags for the next day. And then the big one that you know I love so much is to do my nightly pickup. So when I wake up the next morning, even though I know, I call it the fire hose day because you just feel like you're just full force all day long, I still know that I wake up to a tidy house and I'm ready to start the day fresh. So choose those routines that are going to be the most important to you and going to help you throughout this season. And number 4 is for when this crazy time is over. I know that the next day after that event happened, I chose to have a reset day. I had not scheduled important things for those days. I knew I needed some time to reset. I had to get caught up on laundry because I had not been doing my one load a day. I had gotten a little bit behind. So I got caught up on laundry. I did a few tasks in the house that had kind of gone to the wayside. My pantry needed to be straightened up, just those little things like that. I chose that day to stay home. I had been getting up in the mornings and doing my work emails, but there were a few things that I had pushed off. And so I wanted to get caught up on those things. So when you see a time period in your life, if you can see it, especially ahead of time, go ahead and at the end of that, schedule a day or two and call them your reset days. You're resetting. And that way you can take a deep breath of fresh air and know that this season was temporary and it's over. And now you can go back to whatever your normal life is. So just 2 quick tips on some things that helped me during this time. Number 1 is I talked about getting enough sleep. And by getting enough sleep, it allowed me to wake up early in the mornings. And so I would have that quiet devotion time, which was very, very important. But then I also would go ahead and get the most important things done for the day if I had some things for work that had to be done. And then I would take a few minutes and quickly do some cleaning tasks, maybe clean one of the bathrooms or just quickly go through and dust the house. And so this allowed me to keep up with those routines that I really didn't have the time to do. But if I allowed that time in the morning, it really helped me to get those things done. And the second tip is don't forget bottled water and snacks. And if you want to use your own refillable water bottles, whatever works for you. I know that for us, when life is like this, I make sure to purchase a large case of waters. That way I can grab some waters and put them in my backpack. I am planning ahead for that self-care thing that is really important because I know that I struggle with getting enough water. And so I want to have those bottles of water. Also grab some healthy snacks and keep those in my bag because I will forget to eat. And then when I realize that I'm starving, I eat whatever is at hand. And it's typically not something that's super healthy. So keeping water bottles and snacks in my bag was another thing that really helped me. Hopefully you won't have any of these seasons that are really crazy busy anytime soon, but it is likely that you will experience them at some point, and I'm sure you probably have already experienced them. And hopefully the things that I've learned through this crazy time that thankfully has come to an end, but hopefully these things will help you to have margin in your life for the good things. If you haven't already, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel, hit the bell so you'll be notified when the next video goes live.